Welcome. You should have this page right in front of you. If not, it is on Google Classroom under classwork. So you go to classwork, and actually it should be right where you found this video. So just go anthropology, classwork, and it is our animal behavior lab. So this is our choice chamber that we did on the day previous, and now we're going to actually go ahead and take those results. This is the data I collected and analyze that statistically. So I'm going to zoom in so I can write a little bit better. I need to talk about what my expectations are so I can observe or reject. So if everything was random, and that's what we're trying to see, if this was random or not, we'd accept a 50-50 distribution. So if I was looking at 10 flies on one side and 10 flies on another, I'd expect random distribution that way. So with total 20 flies, 10 and 10. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. When testing fruit flies, excuse my handwriting, it's hard to do on this little pen, computer pen. Alright, so here's when testing fruit flies, I would expect random distribution with half the flies on the left side with sugar water and half on the right with plain water. And again, those were soaked in a cotton ball. And again, I apologize for my handwriting, but I was doing my best to get it in there. Alright, so now what I have to do is I have to total up my sides, alright? So I can see the total number that I had for the left. And so that's going to be all these. That's going to be on the left. And then the total right, that's going to be on the right here. So give me a chance to do that on the calculator. Alright, so I finished totaling those up. And on the left, on my left side chambers, I got 120. Let's just go ahead and erase that. 125. And 74. And really, if I had 10 in each sample and did that 20 times, I should get 200. So what happened? Well, I found that I made a mistake in my counting here. Like I missed some. So that's all right. That's the results that I got. I'm not going to get rid of that. I can talk about that in my scientific error. So now, what is the expected number? So this was my observed. This is what I actually got. What was my expected number? So if I have total left plus total right, that gives me 199. And so I take total left plus total right and I divide that by 2. So 199 divided by 2 is going to be almost 100, right? It's going to be 99.5. 99.5 for both of those, right? So it should be the same on each side, and that will give me 109. All right, so now I go to my chi-square test. I want to zoom in a little bit more. I'm going to change back to the black color. And so here's my chi-square. It's observed minus expected squared divided by expected. So negatives aren't going to matter because they'll be squared, so it'll always be a positive number. So observed was for blue, right? I color coded. I've got my blue. Observed is 125 minus expected of 99.5. Right? I square that over 99.5. Right? So 25 minus 100 is 25, and so it's going to be 25.5 squared. 25.5 squared over 99.5. And I'm going to need to do that on my calculator. That's the importance here of using your orders of operations. So again, that's why I'm doing what's inside the parentheses first. I got what's inside the parentheses. I'm going to do 25.5 squared, or you can just do 25.5 times 25.5, depending on what your calculator has, equals 650.25 divided by 99.5. So now I'm going to do that, divided by 99.5. And that gives me 6.535. We're just going to go to the 10th spot here, so I'm going to do 6.5 is going to be my answer. 6.5. So I'll highlight that just so I don't lose that. Let me highlight it blue just to keep things all kind of color coded here. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to do 74 minus 99.5 over 99.5, and I need to make sure I have this part squared, and let's do that. It should be 25.5 negative 25.5 squared, but let's just check 74 minus 99.5. Yep, negative 25.5, negative 25.5 squared over 99.5. And again, just like before, it's the same thing, but negative. I'm going to get rid of that negative. It's going to be 650.25 divided by 99.5. And that's going to give me 6.5. And I'll do this one green just to keep things all nice and color-coded. All right, so now it says sum your two values. And of course, sum means add them up. So 6.5 plus 6.5 is going to be 13, right? And this is my critical value. Right. And so now I'm going to use that number for my analysis. And I go over to my lab analysis, scrolling down. That's where I go, 13. You want to highlight that, make it nice and easy to find. And it says, use the critical value chart to the left to decide if you should accept or reject your hypothesis. Let's zoom in just a second. And so we had, as you saw above, the degree of freedom equals 1 because there are only two choices, and degrees of freedom equals the number of choices minus 1. So 2 minus 1 equals 1. And we always want to use the 0.05 probability. We want to be 95% sure. So we're looking at what's circled right there, 3.841. So that means if it's less than 3.841, we have what would be expected just due to random chance. It would mean that, yes, everything's pretty much randomly distributed. However, we got 13, right? Let's see. Yeah, 13. So we are far greater than that. So that means there was some choice. We would want to reject our hypothesis because we did not see random distribution. We definitely saw a preference. And so we said on the left side there was sugar water. So they were definitely preparing the side with sugar water over the side with just plain regular water. When you're answering this, be sure to identify your critical value. In this case, it was 13. What does that mean about your animal had a choice? Again, I said it definitely preferred that sugar water. And yeah, that sort of stuff. Then you go on to the next question. Describe your behavior you observed. So some people saw some interesting things, some funny things. Some of them saw like them go and drown. Whatever you see. Maybe you saw some interacting with each other. Maybe you saw mating. I don't know what you saw. Write those things down. What senses do you think the animals relied on most? That's up to you with what you observed. Did you observe any form of communication, visual, auditory, olfactory? So did you see any scents or things like that? It's up to you. You may have not. Tell me that. List possible sources of error. So like I said, I don't think it made a big difference for this one, but in my workup here, I had miscounted. So do you think there's chances that you miscounted? Maybe sometimes you counted some as being on one side when they were really dead. I don't know. That sort of stuff. Also, what else do we have here? Calculation errors. Did you mess up doing calculations? All those sorts of things. Did you accidentally hit your choice chamber and they had to move around on accident? So we've got that. Below that, we have the rubric for the lab, and this is going to show how you're going to be graded. So you're going to take pictures of this, upload it to the assignment on Google Classroom so I can grade it one night and get you your score. This is going to be your first grade, thing that counts towards your grade, thing that I'm grading you on, helping decide your grade, this analysis and conclusion. Again, this goes on to page 128, and then this goes on to page 129. It's right on there. Make sure you get it in the right spots. I hope that is helpful for you. There are some students in your class that have done this before. You can definitely ask them. And good luck. Hope you have a good day. Bye.